Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a brief and very concise military update, but there's still plenty to discuss. Let's begin with a surprising focus on the Lyman direction. From the area of Makiivka, an offensive is underway toward Grekovka. There has been an expansion of the territory controlled by the armed forces of the Russian Federation in this section, heading toward Grekovka, situated between the borders of Kharkiv, Luhansk, and Donetsk regions. The operational objective of the Russian army appears as follows. Simultaneously, there is an advance from the direction of Pervomaisk toward the south, broadly speaking, toward Grekovka from Makiivka. The goal is to close off the remaining parts of Luhansk region, still under the control of the Ukrainian armed forces. Overall, we've noticed a recent increase in activity along the Lyman axis. It's evident that the Russian General Staff has refocused its attention there, likely transferring reinforcements and applying pressure in this area. The Russian army continues to expand its foothold near the Jerebets River, particularly on its western bank. Notably, Russian forces are already approaching the village of Kolodezi, with an assault expected to begin soon. The operational intention behind these movements, involving crossing and fording the Jerebets River, is to eliminate, first, the Ukrainian foothold on the river's western bank, and second, to approach Lyman. Regarding Kolodezi, a key road runs through the village, offering a direct route to Lyman. I've marked this road with a dashed arrow. The offensive on Kolodezi is expected to serve as a springboard for advancing toward Lyman. The areas of Torskoye, Zareknoye, and Yampolovka are also of great importance. These settlements are either partially or fully under the control of the Ukrainian army. Russian forces are currently engaging in combat in these areas to get closer to Lyman. Lyman holds significant importance for Ukrainian forces. The settlements beyond Lyman are not as well fortified, and Lyman provides access to Slavyansk, making it a critical defensive stronghold. The villages surrounding Lyman along the Jerebets River are even more crucial, as they serve as a shield for Lyman against the Russian army. It is expected that once Russian forces deal with Torskoye, Yampolovka, and Zareknoye, the operation to capture Krasny Lyman, as it was called in Ukraine, will proceed more easily. This development is likely to unfold this year. Moving on to the Pokrovsk direction, Ukrainian sources are in a state of panic. The head of Sensor.net reported that Russian forces are only 4 kilometers away from the main M30 highway. This suggests a significant breakthrough of Russian forces northward by 3 kilometers, likely toward the Pokrovskaya mine between the settlements of Udaknaya and Kotlino. Confirmation of this information is expected by the evening. The encirclement of Pokrovsk from the south continues, and soon Russian forces are expected to surround the city from the west as well. This operation will be one of the largest urban encirclements since the Mariupol operation. The Pokrovsk-Mirnograd agglomeration is one of the largest in Donbass, comparable to the Donetsk agglomeration. This operation is akin to capturing 2 or even 2.5 Bakhmuts, making it a highly challenging endeavor. We will see how it unfolds. Stay tuned to our channel and don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments. Every day, Ukrainian sources report counterattacks, including a recent one in the Shevchenko area on the Kurakovskoye direction, claiming to have retaken either Shevchenko itself or its outskirts. However, this is unconfirmed by Russian sources, which state that the Ukrainian counterattack was repelled. Ukrainian claims are reportedly unsupported by evidence, such as flags on Russian positions or credible footage, making these assertions seem baseless. Meanwhile, the encirclement of Velikonovo-Selkovskoye continues from the Vremyevskoye direction. It remains unclear how the Ukrainian armed forces plan to break this encirclement or withdraw the troops trapped within. The number of Ukrainian forces in this encirclement is unknown, but it is reportedly substantial, potentially making it one of the largest cauldrons in the history of this conflict. Ukrainian media outlets are attempting to downplay or obscure the situation to avoid a scandal, but such efforts are unlikely to succeed, given the severity of the situation. In the political context of the Ukrainian conflict, Waltz, a security advisor to Donald Trump, the elected US president, suggested that Ukraine should lower the mobilization age to 18. This position aligns somewhat with the Biden administration, which has made similar recommendations. Waltz also noted that Trump's team and others increasingly recognize Ukraine's inability to retake territories held by Russia, emphasizing the need to stabilize the front lines instead. This is a direct quote from Waltz, highlighting a shift in strategy from the US side. According to Trump's strategy, which remains enigmatic to many, negotiations should begin only after stabilizing the front lines. For now, the front is unstable, with Russian forces advancing daily. To stabilize the front, Ukraine is being urged to mobilize 18-year-old boys and possibly even girls. Trump's team seems to envision pressuring Zelensky with the argument that, according to all polls, 70%, or even 73%, of Ukraine's population supports immediate negotiations. This is corroborated by Ukrainian sociological surveys. The narrative Trump's team might present to Zelensky is that mobilization of 18-year-olds should be framed as a mobilization for peace, with the reasoning that Ukraine needs one final push to stabilize the front. After this, negotiations can begin, bringing peace. This is the angle Trump's allies are expected to push on Zelensky. Whether Zelensky will agree to this remains to be seen, but we'll likely find out soon, as Trump's inauguration is set to take place in just 5 days, around January 20th. Of course, a lot can happen in those few days. Regarding Russia's perspective on statements from Kellogg, Waltz, and other Trump associates, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov gave a detailed interview in which he commented on Ukraine. He referred to it as the so-called Ukraine, or the country called Ukraine, and stated that Russia is open to discussing security guarantees for this so-called country, or whatever remains of it. These are roughly Lavrov's words, not my interpretation. Simultaneously, Nikolai Patrushev, a member of Russia's Security Council, also made a statement about Ukraine, echoing a similar sentiment. He went as far as suggesting that Ukraine's existence might end as early as 2025. Again, these are the words of official representatives of the Russian side. Lavrov also expressed frustration at the lack of specifics from Trump regarding future talks, though he welcomed Trump's apparent desire to ease tensions in US-Russia relations. For now, no concrete proposals for negotiations have been made. Interestingly, Donald Trump has expressed a desire to meet with Putin before his inauguration. However, US law, specifically the Logan Act, prohibits an elected president or presidential candidate from conducting foreign policy or engaging in diplomatic actions before officially assuming office. As a result, Trump must wait until his inauguration. It is expected that a meeting with Putin will be one of the first major events after Trump takes office. However, the Russian side appears more skeptical about this. According to them, such a meeting is not currently being prepared. On the other hand, Trump claims that preparations are already underway. Members of Trump's team have stated that they have not yet decided on the format for potential talks between Trump and Putin regarding Ukraine. Options being considered include a trilateral meeting with Zelensky or his representative, or direct bilateral talks between Putin and Trump. It's worth noting that Ukrainian diplomacy strongly opposes any format that excludes Ukraine. The principle of nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine is deeply ingrained in Ukrainian foreign policy. Lavrov, however, insists that discussions about Ukraine's fate should take place exclusively between Russia and the US, with Europe and Ukraine excluded from the negotiations.